Day 3 of the retreat. Making a Hobby Lobby and Michael's stop before the session start. These lovely ladies.
Nothing about it, right?
Let's see what we find.
Because it matches my planner color.
Got a
They
little
don't have that much stuff in
something.
here. See, I don't want all of these. I want to go get it for that girl. They have anything purchased on it?
Yeah, good. I'm just getting this sticker book and using the 40% off coupon on it. So, oh, and I've been wanting these, and I just couldn't find them at our local stores. So I have the floral, and now all I need is the household stickers, and I'll be set for right now at least. But we better check out now, and then we're gonna stop by Michael's and then run back so that we can get to the session in time.
I don't know because I know everybody may not know who I am, not from anybody, but I'm a YouTuber and vlogger. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, and I reside in the metro Atlanta area. I have 2 kids, one 15 and one 5, my little diva daughter Alyse, and my son Malachi, who's 15. I love all things planning, crafting, as you guys already know. I also love organization, DIY. My husband builds a lot of things now. I got him all wrapped up in my DIY schemes. And so that's pretty much my passion. Those are my passions in that show. I also homeschool my 15-year-old son, which is very good. He's in high school, he's a 10th grader. And I'm room mom at Addison School. So I've got a lot going on. I'm also a tennis fanatic, love me some tennis. Anytime the US Open is on or Wimbledon or anything like that, that's where my TV stays. I want to talk about Serena right now, so y'all don't come. We're not there yet, okay? We're still in our fields. So that's a little bit about me, my family, what I like to do, and so now we're going to talk about my journey, which is how you guys all know me.
Also, when you pointed over there, I definitely thought you were pointing at something. But that's awesome. Kind of similar to what you said, I have been setting the goal for myself to go to the gym, but I haven't written it down, made plans, so it just like gets pushed back every time. So this session, we'll talk a little bit about how to set attainable goals. So really that means going to the gym. Fancy. Practicing accountability skills, and then having fun. Because that's what planning is. I mean, this room is just fun. Measurable means that it's something that you can evaluate. A way to evaluate your goals is see if you become more successful or if you haven't achieved it yet. Achievable means that it's realistic. You're not setting yourself up for failure by picking a goal that might be too big at the time. So making it small and achievable and making those like little steps getting to it. Relevant, so that's more of a personal one. If it's relevant to your life, if it's something that's important to you, it'll be something that you're more willing to work towards. And then time bound. So you give yourself a time frame to achieve this in order to kind of get you on board and going. Otherwise, it would just be working towards a goal for your entire life and maybe not necessarily making the right steps towards it.
Hello. I just realized I never actually showed y'all where we were staying. Well, around the area. So I just had fraud on my card and was dealing with that. But while I'm out here, I might as well show y'all around before I go back in for the rest of the sessions. So this is where all the rooms are. And then you go around and it's like rolling hills over here. Zoom in so you can see it better. It's really pretty. And then in the center is like this little courtyard with bushes and a few benches. And over here is where the restaurant, bar, and grill and conference area and everything is. And this is the main building. This used to be a plantation, so this was the actual plantation house. And that's where you check in and all of that. And I think the gym is in there too. But it's really beautiful. nice relaxing place to stay, which is good for while we're here for a retreat. But that is what it looks like. Now let's get back to this conference.
But that's the no that we need on our journey. We need to be able to understand that no is a complete sentence. And it took me 3 years with this woman to figure that out. And when I started finding my voice and my strength watching her do it, and I saw me get in the head and easing up and I'm finding myself smiling, I said, okay, so it's okay to say no. People aren't upset. They're still following me. I'm not losing anything. People are gonna wait on the next sale. I stopped taking custom orders. I didn't feel like I have to do those anymore because with custom orders, it could get taxing as a shop owner. You're talking about nobody wants to look like anybody else, which is okay. But it's a lot of work and it can get expensive. And if you don't have the money, this is where shop owners start making those live videos y'all be clowning and talking about, where they up there crying, talking about they can't fulfill an order. You need your resources. And a lot of us, because we're startup shops, we don't have that business 101, so we just falling forward. And so what happens is you get missed orders, and then here comes the community dragging you. You go into a depressive state because one thing didn't happen for yourself. You have no business experience. You don't even know how to balance your family, but you're trying to balance the shop. So how does that work? I started realizing, yeah, I'm getting all these followers and I'm making all this money, but you ain't got no balance in your life. And you don't have no balance out here because you don't know how to say no. So once I learned how to say no, I was able to hear a little bit clearer, because if you know my vision in my box, my current theme always is going into each box is we gotta be in the state of listening, silencing things around you so that you can hear yourself. And I had to learn that the hard way.
I'm truly proud of you. And I want to say thank you again, because when I was going through my hard time, you didn't call and judge me. You called me with, sis, let's pray. Sis, let's pray. Not what's going on, who this said this, and whatever. She said, sis, let's pray. And it was in that moment, from the moment we had before, I was already on him, like, okay, I gotta hold on to her. But in that moment, you was wrapped up tight, you ain't can't get rid of me. Okay, don't try it. I got frequent fire mouths now, thanks, Shay. Don't try it, I will. But thank you so much for sharing that. People need to understand that.
Wow.
Because she said things.
Right.
She said
So, okay, there's a website, right?
She said plural in the video. They play without no.
The car, if you have. Mind your business. Back to that. Mind your business. Right, that looks like a little water. Looks like a little water seeping.
She spilled the water, honey.
Listen, take your pen out. I got a code for you.
I ain't telling y'all the code. We've been set up, y'all. Wait, I didn't get one. Thank you.
That was not gonna let me leave if I didn't hand y'all something else.
We've been set up. Got our pops, y'all. Ain't nobody have to get beat up. Ain't nobody get beat up today.
You guys make sure when you post it, tag her in it and let her know, thank you. Y'all know this is not playing in my speech. What you did for us this week, weekend, days, whatever it was. What you did for us, you came down and intermingled with us. You were a part of this retreat. And I know when I asked you, I told you, come and join us. But I didn't know. I'm like, I don't know. To me, she appeared. So I don't know how you would feel about that. But the fact that you came, you enjoyed, and you engaged with everyone here, is big. And she ate some of this pack cake. She ate some of this pack cake. I'm just trying to tell you, she had the end of it. It was real good. Tore it up. She wasn't going to let nobody get her. But I wanted to tell you publicly, I thank you for that. Because it gave us an opportunity to see Stacy in another light. Yes. Something that we normally wouldn't see above everybody else. And it humanized you where maybe I had done it myself. Right? Put you, on a different level. And you're a human. So I thank you for that. Come on, girl. Come take the mic and do your thing. With your cute self. Yes, ma'am. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, go back. Go back. We gotta do this proper. Stacy, go to the door. Go to the door. We're gonna do this all the way right. I can't do this. I didn't know. She had on this little grandma shawl over here. Ain't told nobody she had them put on the heels and got sexy. Y'all coming to the Planning to Better Me retreat stage. We got Stacy.
Oh man, I'm so excited to be here. Can somebody in this room say power? Power! Now, I want to try to say that like something broke off of you today or yesterday. Can somebody in this room say power? Power! One more time, because I just want to make sure I'm in the right room. Can some woman in this room say power? Power! Okay, this is the last time for real, because my favorite number is 4. Can somebody in this room say power? Power! Okay, I'm in the right room. I'm excited to be here. We're going to start out, I want to tell you guys about where my life was in about 2015. I had just come off of a year of experiencing the most amount of success I had ever possibly imagined. I mean, I hadn't even imagined this level of success. And it was success financially, it was success in my businesses, it was success in my relationships. I had even actually, a couple of years prior to that, had taken guardianship of my 13-year-old niece, and we had just successfully transitioned her to go back to live with her mom, which was a huge accomplishment for our family because sometimes those bonds break down. But I was just in this space of just success on success on success on success. And so I decided, since I was having so much success, that I was going to move into the season of my life where I was going to live my best stress-free life. And I said to myself, what would I need if I was going to live my best stress-free life? And the answer that I came up with was a new home. So I decided to upgrade my home at the time, and I upgraded it to a 3-bedroom, 4-story, a 3-story, 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath downtown duplex. And I was pretty excited about this upgrade because many of you guys know I have a whole entire human being who's a teenager, and I wanted to give him a little bit of room to play around. I wanted to enjoy the process of living my best life in a fully furnished duplex. I wanted to be able to bring my friends over so we could have brunch while we were living our best lives. And that's essentially what I thought that year was going to be. But what happened in March is my eldest sister went through a crisis. And when she went through the crisis, she called me and she said, Stacy, I know you just moved into your 3-story, 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath downtown duplex. And I was just wondering, given that I'm going through something, if it would be okay if I just moved in just for a little bit while I figured this thing out. And I said, absolutely. Why do you think I have all this extra? You can go in the guest room. It'll be perfect. So my eldest sister came and she moved into my home. A couple of months later, my mom actually went through a crisis, and she called and she said, Stacy, I know you just moved into your 3-story, 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath downtown duplex, and I was just wondering if it would be okay if I moved in for just a little bit because I'm going through a crisis. And I said, Mom, you're my mom, absolutely. You can have that other room that I have that's left over. And so my mom moved in. A month after that, I was actually in Nassau, Bahamas, speaking at a conference, and my mom called and she said, Stacy, I know you're in Nassau on the beach right now, but I'm here with Sabrina, that's my baby sister, and she's going through a crisis right now. And I was just calling to see if it would be okay if she moved in just for a little bit while she goes through this crisis. And I said, Mom, that's a lot. And she said, well, your sister's going through something. And I said, okay, well, all right, Sabrina can move in. So my baby sister and my 4 nieces moved into my home. A couple of months later, My second oldest sister called and she said, Stacy, you know, I know everybody in the family is at your 3-story, 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath downtown duplex, but I'm kind of going through something right now, and I was just wondering if it would be okay if me and the girls moved in for just a little bit. And I said, okay, Steph, yep, come on, we'll figure it out. Come on in. So my second oldest sister and my 3 nieces moved in. Just before Thanksgiving, my dad called. And he said, you know, daughter, normally in the wintertime, I stay with Sabrina. But I heard that everybody is at your 3-story, 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath downtown duplex, and your mom told me nobody was in the basement. And so I was just wondering if it would be okay if I moved in for just a little bit while I'm going through this crisis. And I remember saying to my dad, you know, I really was just trying to live my best life. But come on, Dad, you can move in. And so within a 9-month window, my entire immediate family moved into my home. That would be my parents, who have not lived together since I was a very young girl. My 3 sisters, my 7 nieces, and my son. And I don't know if your family is anything like my family, but you know, when you go through something and you're in a crisis state where you have to move in with someone, you're not usually going through that in the best emotional state. You're not usually going through that with financial means. And so I began to take on the financial responsibility of every single adult in that house, of every single child in that house. I began to take on the emotional chaos, the relationship breakdowns, the trauma that was showing up as me and my sisters were regressing back to very young ages because we're seeing our parents interact as people who were in the same house, and we had never experienced that in our life. I began to start trying to control for what was going on in their life because I thought if I can just fix their circumstance, if I can just control what was going on, if I can just get this sister to break up with this guy, and I could get this niece into this program, and if I could get my dad over here in this program, and if I could help my mom get signed up for this if I can just control a little bit of what's going on with all of these different people in my life, then maybe I would be able to get back to that success and happiness that I was experiencing.
Publicly, I wanted them to see who helped put this thing together. So I thank you guys so much. If I had a lot of coin, I'd give you all one of them, but I don't. So you guys will have to take this thank you and this meal that we're about to enjoy. That's your reward. Oh, everybody get that, huh? Okay. I got you on a nugget. All right, thank you guys. You can have a seat. Okay, and last but not, and because of that, you groomed me. I said groomed. Not growed. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I want them to know what I was trying to tell them. You know, they think I'm awesome. But you really helped me to mature in this year of us planning this, because we had to literally work together and bounce off of ideas and trust one another to make sure we went where we had to go and do what we had to do. And baby girl, I'm so proud of you. So thank you. All right, enough of this stacking stuff. Let's get ready for dinner. You guys got it? Should have exactly an hour. Go get dressed. I need you back at 6 o'clock. They want all of us there at 6 o'clock.
All right, y'all. Check it out. Check it out. What? You can't see my feet because I can't reach that low, and I don't want you to see my shoes. We're on our way to dinner. Closing out the retreat and whatever else. I don't know what I'm talking about. We're on our way to dinner. See you on the inside. Okay. All the lovely ladies about to eat dinner. Oh wait, get Tiffany. We're at Planning After Dark, the last / next to last event of the retreat for me, at least, because I have to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning for my flight. But let me show you the lovely ladies that are out here in their PJs. Late night Waffle House run with the ladies. That is. Late night Waffle House run. Planning a bit of me. Well, it's currently 3:37 a.m. and I'm waiting for it to be time for me to leave. I have not gone to sleep. My plan is to sleep on the planes back home. We'll see how that works. But I had a really, really great time here. I feel what is it? Refreshed, recharged, and reset. Maybe not in that order, but I feel it. We had a really good time. We met a lot of cool people here and connected with them through social media so that we could stay in touch, and hopefully we do. But I would say Planet a Better Me 2019, the very first one, was a success. What do you say, Lelena?
It was a success.
You heard it here first, folks. If you did not get to make it this year, definitely try to come next year. There will be one next year. It's going to be here again in Richmond, Virginia at Virginia Crossings Hotel. Start planning, start saving, mark your calendar, take the days off. I will see y'all maybe on the flight home, and maybe this is the end, so just in case, bye y'all.